Hey Rockstar, Steve aka Void here. Welcome to another episode of RIFFSTARTER, where I help you play your favorite riffs on guitar from day one. All the strategies and techniques from the book are brought to you by my best-selling book, Practice Less, Play More. I had to look at the cover for a second. You can grab it at playmoresongs.com, and there are some really cool strategies in there. We're going to talk about some of them because today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite riffs, which is actually one of my favorite. So it's Santana's Samba Pa Ti, which is, so I'm checking out, I've got my Void Cancer shirt over here. This was my father's favorite song. There's actually a tribute video that I recorded of Samba Pa Ti, which is all instrumental, just one guitar, solo guitar. Maybe I'll link to that in the comments. But basically, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk about some of the things that a lot of guitar players do wrong with this type of song. I'm saying this type of song because I see this on lots of songs. So it's not just with Samba Pa Ti. The stuff that I'm going to be talking about today is definitely going to help you with other songs as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen over here, and let me just check here. So, okay, so you should see my screen. And shout out to guitarinstructor.com for this tab. But now, there are some things that are wrong with this tab. First of all, besides the error over here of sliding from, or doing a hammer-on from fret 4 to 8, that's it's already a problem. What I find is a lot of guitar players will just look at this face value. They'll basically try playing this note, and then this note, and this note, and then this note, and this note, and this note, and this note, and it just won't sound like the riff, okay? So, you know, if we're looking at, let me go back here. If we're looking at playing Samba Pa Ti, where we're doing something along the lines of, let's say this. Like that, you know, everyone who knows Santana knows that riff, okay? And by the way, drop your where you're watching from, and you know, say hey in the chat. I have the chat over here that's open, and so you know, say hi. This here, I'm not going to say that's the hardest riff that's there, but there is some finesse to it. And when you look at the tab, you know, if we go back to that tab, and we're looking at all these, you know, all these little moves over here, what's going to happen is very often it's not going to end up sounding like what I just played. You're not going to sound like. What's going to happen very often is you're just going to go like, it's going to sound like you're playing an instruction, and then another instruction, then another instruction, and another one, another one, another one. And so that doesn't sound like music to me whenever I hear that type of playing. And so what I recommend that you do instead is we want to scrap the idea of all the frills at first, okay? We want to make sure that at first what you do is you play the melody, okay? Especially if you love this song, if this is a song that you really, really love and you've known and you've listened to for years. Basically, we want to play the melody. I don't even care if you play with one finger at first. And then then the 7th fret. I'm not recommending playing with one finger always, but my point is first we want to play it almost like a piano. We want to play the different notes. And also, don't worry about all the little frills, like whether you play that with one finger or two, or, you know, 4 fingers, whatever. You don't have to add all the little moves like the slides. You can just play the melody first and get it to match the record. That's the first goal. Hey Andy, how's it going, buddy? So you want to match the record first, and then rhythmically, okay? So you want to play in musical time first, which for many people will be very easy at first, okay? When you're adding all these little extra, where we add the volume differences and the little hammer-ons in there. Again, not to say it's the hardest thing, but the first goal, to play from day one, the first goal is to make sure that you can play along with the record, play in musical time, and you don't want any obstacles. So why I'm saying I'm exaggerating playing with one finger. So, okay, so now it's obviously not going to sound good on its own, okay? But if you can't do that, or if you can't do that with multiple fingers here, almost like a scale, okay? If you can't do that, then how can you expect to go so the whole point is first simplify it so that, for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the first draft of this song, the first version that you play is a simpler version. I keep talking about, instead of trying to match your current skill level, so instead of trying to match your current skill level to the level of the record, match the level of the record to your current skill level. That's how you play from day one. So what we do first is we get those basics down. And then, even that, there's like subtle little notes in there, and don't try to catch all of them on the first pass. You can do that after 10 minutes or after 20 minutes. You can do that as the next version of the song when you upgrade, okay? Too many guitar players, they look at a tab, and what they're doing is they're trying to play every little detail right at the beginning. And instead, just think about the melody. What would you sing? Bum, 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 bum. Even this part here, da-da-da, that's just like, that part there is actually really quiet. You actually don't even have to play that at first. And then the next one, see, this is so weird with these tabs, because then you play the same line in a different way. So then all of a sudden now you're learning a different finger position, and that's a mess. I would rather, if it sounds the same, ba 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 ba, if it's the same notes, then just play the same way. Don't switch. It's a big problem with tabs online. So what I would do is, at first I'd play it like this. I'd go first, and then if you want to, you can add this. You could add the melody there, the whole thing, but maybe what you do is, and then again, play it the same way. Okay, and then you get to the next part, which is also a mess for a lot of guitar players at first, which would go something like this at the bottom here. So you'd have hammer, hammer on, pull off, and then you have like the brackets that some people don't know what that is, and then you have this double bend where the 8th fret on the 2nd string is bending, and then you have this like triple hammer pull off thing. It's like there's a lot of stuff. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that you're having to not only to play but also memorize. And so first, think of this as a melody. Okay, if you think of it as a melody first, without all the frills, just a melody, then you can get it to sound like music at first, to match up with the record. You can get that probably in 1 or 2 tries, and then once you get that, then you can add stuff on top. So even just taking this part over here, that part, like once you get that, then you could add. You can add the extra little frill, or even here, you add that hammer on, or slide. I like to do a slide. And then you can add these little slides, these extra little bits, okay? So don't look at the tab as face value. Use your imagination, and when you're looking at the tab that has so many hammer-ons and pull-offs, look at the notes that are there. And usually, actually, this is a good tip. This is the larger notes are usually the ones that you're going to want to play. Those are the melody notes, because anything else that's small, it's called a grace note. Those are just supporting notes, okay? But the bigger numbers here, the larger numbers, that's the melody, okay? So you can just take that as a temporary version and then learn the melody and get the timing right first with that, and then after, as a second step, then you can upgrade and you can add in all those little frills, okay? So it's a really, really important lesson that first, don't try all of the details, okay? First, what you want to do is you want to actually be able to play along with the record, play in musical time, and then after you can do that, only once you can do that, then start adding the more complex things. Now, you might be able to play this right off the bat, okay? You might be able to look at Samba Pa Ti and play all of those parts right off the bat, and that's great. But there are things that you're probably doing when you're looking at tabs as like left to right, face value, that I'm going to play this note, then this note, then this note, then this note, and you're not simplifying anything, that for a more advanced player, you still might need to simplify 1 or 2 spots first, so that you're not playing stop and go music. You're going to be playing the music with a steady pulse, okay, no matter what. And if there's a difficult technique, well, as a temporary version, you're going to modify that technique so you can simplify it. You can make sure that you can play through in a musical way, and then on top of that, then later on, you're going to upgrade. So it's 5 minutes later, or the next practice session, later on, you're going to upgrade, okay? It's very, very important, and it's what stalls a lot of guitar players. This is why a song could take weeks or months to learn, because your inner perfectionist is saying, this is how the song is. It has to be like this, or it has to be like that. And it's really not true. Again, instead of trying to match your skill level to the level of the record, first match the level of the record to your current skill level. That's how you play from day one. Same goes for a novice, a beginner, a low intermediate, an intermediate advanced player. Whatever your skill level is, there's always going to be something that where you hit a wall, and the priority always has to be playing music, which means a steady pulse. All right. So I wanted to show this example of Samba Pa Ti. And let me know in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying, if you've tried doing what I'm saying. If you've read my book, then you for sure will have seen this already. Again, you could grab that at playmoresongs.com. And also let me know what riffs you want to see me cover, because there are plenty of different examples of what I'm talking about here. And I want to hear from you, the riffs that you want to play. Let me know in the comments below, and then we'll hit that in the next episode of, or in an upcoming episode of Riff Starter. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much, and chat soon.